Hey, this is Vlados Kravickas. I'm here to talk about Panelio.me. It's a new application that we created. We're super excited that we're finally launching it. So the reason we created this application is that there isn't a good way to save your web links or bookmarks. Of course, there is a bookmarking function on your browser, but let's be honest, no one's actually using it. And then there are also social bookmarking websites which are great, but the thing is they're so focused on social aspect that the actual storing of bookmarks kind of gets lost in translation. And of course, one can say, hey, I can just share my links on Facebook or Twitter or similar platforms, and that's true. But then again, those are timeline-based applications with a great emphasis on the social aspect. And Panelio is really more of a bookmark storage solution. Obviously, there are a bunch of file storage and file sharing solutions. So Panelio is really similar to those, except that this is for bookmarks and not for files. Before starting this project, we did a survey and we asked various people on the internet what do they do with their web links. Let's say they find an interesting article that they want to come back later, or let's say they are obsessed about politics and they want to use this article later in a political argument, or let's say they're working on a project together and they think this particular article or white paper or whatever that is, it could be useful for work for that project, but they know that if they're not going to save it somewhere where they can remember and they can come back to it, it's gonna just get lost in translation. They're gonna forget about it. So most people told us that they actually email those links to themselves, which is, I can attest myself, not the most efficient way of saving, storing, because again, it's a new day, you get another 20, 30, 50 emails, and the one with your bookmark becomes lost and forgotten. So we hope you're going to give Panelio.me a shot, and just so you know, it's currently in beta stage, so a bug here and there, or a little malfunction is possible, but trust me, we're working hard on weeding those out. So let me give you a quick tour. Obviously, this is where you sign up for free. There's no ads, there's no gimmicks, there's nothing hidden here. And then once you have your account, you're just gonna come back and click login, and bam, you can log in right here. Now, if you need a quick introduction as to what Panelio.me really is, getting a personalized answer is the way to go. So if you click here, you're gonna see 10 use cases. We have compiled 10 use cases where we think Panelio is really going to be a great tool if you fall into one of those categories. So let's say you love cooking. So you can scroll down and look in those screenshots and get familiar with Panelio.me for people who like to cook. And the same goes for any other use case. Let's say you're music lovers. So we're going to show you how you can mix and match videos and audio files from different service providers. Let's say YouTube and Vimeo and SoundCloud and Mixcloud. You can save them in your Panelio.me account, and then you can play them back in a sense that you can mix and match different video and audio files in our super cool video player. So now let's just jump in real quick and look inside. Alright, so welcome to my Panelio.me demo account. I have a few links saved for you so it's not empty. Just don't get scared when you sign up for the first time. Obviously, it's not going to be any links here, so it's not going to look as nice. But that's why we want you to actually use Panelio.me and start bookmarking and start saving your web finds as soon as possible. So on the left-hand side, you have your folders. Again, you're not going to have any when you get started, but you can easily create as many folders as you want, and you can categorize them into subfolders. Basic folder controls are pretty self-explanatory. You can highlight your folder, you can edit or lock it, so you can actually password protect any individual folder. You can add subfolder, as mentioned before. You can move any folder, and of course you can delete a folder. Now if we look inside, let's take a look at our food folder. I have one article here in the main folder, but then I have a subfolder called recipes, and I have a bunch of recipes right here. So imagine if you really like to cook, how awesome it is to have a full collection of recipes without actually saving any files or copying any text. You can simply save a link, and then you have a nice card that represents any individual recipe. Now what I really wanted to show you is my music folder. So as I mentioned before, you can save links from different service providers. You can save links from SoundCloud and YouTube and Vimeo and a couple other services. And the cool thing is you can play them without leaving Panelio.me interface. So if I click on this video, I can do a bunch of things with that video too. But I'm not going to cover every single button. We have help section for that, and things are pretty self-explanatory here. So you can play the video right here in Panelio.me, and you have full control of it. So you can actually make it full screen, watch it like that. You get the idea. But now, the thing that I really like is our player. So this little button here doesn't look like a big deal, but if you click on it, it launches our very own native video player. And so again, you can have a full collection of live concerts and short songs and audio files and totally mix and match everything from all these different services. So you're not confined to, let's say, in YouTube you have only YouTube list, and in Vimeo you have Vimeo list, and SoundCloud you have SoundCloud list. Here you can actually save links to different music or videos or movies or short films or whatever you're into, and play right here in Panelio.me. And it's very easy to navigate. I just can't get enough of this video here. Not sure if you guys seen this. And then you can minimize it, and it acts as a regular video player or music player. You can skip to the next track, you can go back, you can make it full screen again, you can pause it. So now let's go back home, and let's try to actually saving a link so you guys can see how easy it is, and how Panelio.me turns a link into this really cool looking card. So I was actually reading this article earlier today, one of those clickbait thingies that you just can't look away and you have to click. So apparently that's a thing, that's a real service. So let's copy this link here, go back to Panelio.me. You can click this icon here, you can simply click letter N in your keyboard and then paste it, add link. You can name it. So I'm going to call it Rent a Mom. You can actually add notes. So anything you want can go here. And you hit save. Panelio.me grabs a picture that represents that article best, provided the website is playing nice and giving us those pictures. And so this way, when you come back to your Panelio.me account later, you will see this picture. It will act as a visual cue, and you're going to recognize that this is the article about Rent a Mom service, or that this is a link to a Fitbit that you're considering buying from Amazon.com, and so on and so forth. For instance, you can drag and drop your links just like that to a different folder. Let's say for whatever reason it goes to WordPress. It really doesn't, but for the sake of example, why not? And finally, we have our help section that we're still working on it, but it has all the basics in there already. So if you ever get stuck, or if you want to get to know Panelio.me better, that's the place to go. And once again, this is Panelio.me that helps discover, bookmark, and share your web links.